Contractor complaints are some of the most frequent cases that land in our inboxes, but most contractors rarely face criminal prosecution. Deanna, why is that?
Well, Brett, really, the answer is simple. If a contractor takes your money but doesn't do any work, that's theft, plain and simple. But if the contractor takes your money, does a little bit of work, then quits, that's considered a civil matter. In 2017, I began investigating a contractor, this contractor, who's accused of repeatedly taking payments for jobs that he didn't finish. In 2020, after years of my investigations, prosecutors decided criminal charges were warranted in one case. But now customers tell me he's at it again.
It was a cold day in late February 2020 when I last saw Scott Pepson. He's the fella in the blue vest standing outside a Geneva City courtroom. In exchange for the lesser charge of petty larceny, he'd agreed to probation and refunding a customer $3,400.
Mr. Pepson, would you like to say anything to...
But I wanted to know if this contractor planned to pay back customers in a host of other cases for which he wasn't charged, cases I'd investigated.
How about Debbie Morlock? Olive Owens, perhaps?
He said nothing. Fast forward to July of 2022.
Yeah, he wanted half of the payment up front.
And how much was that?
Yep, that was $2,750.
Craig Carlson has been fighting to get his money back for almost 2 years, even winning a civil case against Pepson in small claims court. But Craig still hasn't recovered a dime. He hired Pepson to excavate the land next to this barn.
It was supposed to be an area excavated as large as the barn, level, so you could pour a concrete pad, and it was neither level nor as large as the barn.
He says for weeks he tried to get Pepson to return and finish the job and got nothing but excuses.
That roof is an absolute disaster.
Customer Joel Lorenzo has a similar story.
There's pieces missing. The roof boards were too short for the area that he used. He used no flashing. He cut square holes instead of round holes for the vent pipe.
Joel also hired Pepson in 2022. He says he wanted him to install roofs on 4 properties, but Joel says the work was shoddy and unfinished.
What did he say his name was?
Scott Adam.
It's not the first time I've investigated a case in which Pepson is accused of giving only his first and middle names. In 2019, this Rochester couple, Ben and Julia Rollins, hired someone who called himself Scott Adam. They paid him $7,500, but their canceled check revealed Scott Adam was actually Scott Adam Pepson. Look closely at the handwriting. The couple says Pepson filled in his real last name on their check, didn't finish the work, and wouldn't return their money. Ben and Julia's story echoes that of Grace Ann Stolpen, who just a few months later says she paid Pepson $3,800 for work he didn't finish. In 2018, Debbie Morlock says she also paid him $3,800 before she says he walked away from the job. And in 2017, Olive Owens says she gave him a check for $5,000 for a roof he never finished. For years, Pepson has promised me an on-camera interview, then stood me up. So this time, I visited his home in Geneva.
Hi, Season. I'm Deanna with News 10 NBC.
Obviously, his wife was not happy to see me. So back at our car, I reached Pepson by phone, asking first about the names customers claim he's using.
You're Scott Adam?
He insisted that is his middle name and all his friends call him that.
I'm wondering if you failed to tell them your last name so they can't Google you and find out your history.
Absolutely, he admitted. And he blamed my investigations for ruining his reputation.
So you believe I ruined your name and not all of the people who are accusing you of wrongdoing?
Maybe he was guilty of wrongdoing in the past, he said, but that shouldn't be held against him today. But in this judgment handed down just last month, a small claims court judge in Geneva awarded a couple $3,500 because the couple says Pepson did shoddy work, then abandoned the job before it was finished.
It's a pattern behavior.
As for Craig, he's had enough. He, like nearly every one of these customers I interviewed, filed a police report, but police told him this is not a criminal case, it's a civil matter.
If you stole a lawnmower from somebody, that would be larceny. But you could take, thousands of dollars from somebody and there'd be no repercussions. It just doesn't seem like a very equitable system.
So groups like the Better Contractors Bureau, they've been fighting for licensing for years. They say if general contractors were licensed, we could weed out those who believe that they have a contract to quit. Until and unless that happens, sifting out the swindlers is largely up to us as consumers. So before you hire a contractor, here's Deanna's do list. First, choose your contractor from the Better Contractors Bureau. All of their members must have insurance and meet certain qualifications. Secondly, do a simple Google check. Please, please. Often crooked contractors will change their business name many times when their reputation goes south. So when you do that Google check, if you see nothing, you don't get anything, that's a red flag. Thirdly, if you have a problem with a contractor, file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau, the Better Contractors Bureau, and the Attorney General's office. The AG's office will not take civil action until there are enough cases to warrant it.